friends, I am back with another LARPing video for you guys today. I'm really excited about this story. Again, if anyone wants to tell a LARPing story, just jump in front of a camera and get to it. Like, I'd love to see, like, you know, a fun story from one of my friends. But alright everyone, let's just get into it. So one of the things that I hold dear the most being in game is showing someone DAG or LARPing or whatever, and they get into it, and they start to do it with you. And one of those situations with me is with my brother Asvos. And he is, I love him so much. As I say for all the people that I'm talking about, but I mean, that's kind of the point. But Asvos and I known each other ever since we were kiddos. I grew up with him. One day he went to go pick me up from Ragnarok. Just for me to take a day off from Rag and see my family and friends because I'm from the town that Ragnarok is held in. And I usually don't spend very much time at home in my hometown, so then I was just going to spend the day with him. And when he picked me up from Ragnarok, he's just like, wait a minute, what the hell is all this? And I'm like, oh, it's just, you know, nerd stuff, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Asvos, it's fine. And he's just like, you weren't going to tell me that this is what you were in town for? This looks like so much fun. And to be honest, I was just like, you think this looks like fun? Because, to be frank, I didn't think he'd be into something like this. He's in a frat in real life in his school. He does, you know, I guess normal boys things. And I just didn't think that, you know, my friend from childhood wouldn't really be into something like this. So the very next event, which I believe was Victory at the Gates, he brought him upon himself to, like, you know, be like, hey, I'm gonna try this thing out. I'm gonna figure out. And I'm like, all right, Asvos, you know, like, I'm warning you, it might not be your thing. And he's like, ah, nah, this looks so much fun. I can't wait to hit people with foam sticks. I'm like, all right. I got him started with, like, you know, I gave him one chitin, which is, like, you know, a really basic Greek garb. I wanted to make sure that he was the same as me because I wasn't about to let him be like a Viking or something. No shame. I'm just throwing jokes. But I give him a chitin, I give him a clamus, and I give him a sword. And I say, hey, go get changed. And we'll just go party because it was the night before fights and I wanted to introduce him to some people. So I go and I get changed myself in my own tent, send him to his tent, and he doesn't put the garb on correctly. He puts the clamus on and he walks out of his tent. And I look up at him and he's just wearing basically a cloak. Nothing else, just boxers and a pair of shoes. And I'm like, you're not completely dressed. What happened to the chitin that I gave you? And he's like, oh, I was supposed to wear that? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, I thought it was a blanket. And I'm like, no, like, you're half dressed. You're naked. Like, put on something before I take you out to introduce people. Hey, Ishtar, am I wearing this right? Oh, good. Where's your chitin? I gave you 2 articles of clothing and you only put on 1? Whoops, my bad. Mind showing me how to put it on. So I guess for people who are recruiting people, make sure you tell your friends how to wear the garb, because you might have a naked brother in front of you. But alright, he was properly dressed eventually. We hung out, I introduced him to people that I knew, got him to know Corinth a bit. Now he's a part of the Corinth unit. The very next day was fighting, and I usually do line fighting with my bros, and with my spear and my sword, and I gave Asvos a shield and a sword, and I said, come follow me, let's go fighting in the woods, let's do it. And he's like, all right. Eventually, I was thinking, oh, maybe Asvos isn't really having that much fun. I was really worried that he wasn't making any friends, but then at one point in the middle of the battle, he pokes me on the shoulder, and I turn around, and he's like, hey, Ishtar, I'm gonna leave my shield at the rest point, but I'm gonna go with them. And he points at Corinth. And they're all, most of them are all skirmishers, which I'm like, he's a skirmisher. That's what he's into. He's not into line fighting. And I'm like, baby boy, you go and have fun with your friends. And it was so heartwarming to see him spread his wings, make friends by himself, and actually get into the game. Because to be honest, I didn't think he was. And it was so much fun to watch him disappear into the green. And I'm like, there he goes. Killing humans. Recruiting people into game and then them staying in game is probably one of the better feelings. Maybe one day I'll experience a little bit more. Right now he's the only person I've really brought into game and they've stayed. But nothing's more satisfying than being game mom or dad or parent or whatever and being like, oh man, they're growing, their garb's getting better, their game is getting better, they're fighting, oh man. But yeah, it was always funny to think back to whenever he couldn't wear a chitin, but now look at him doing his own thing. Now, till this day, my boy Osvos, he's still in game and he's still doing stuff. And for his year anniversary of being in game, I wrote him a healing poem. So I'll share that with you guys today. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these like references in the poem is from like our childhood, so that it's not like something that like everyone will get to know, but I think it will still be fun to like share it. But alright. O my brother Osvos, as children we walked the winding river that we could not swim, and played among the ancient walls with faceless names carved within. But today we fight as men for the memories we love. If you were to die in the face of war, my soul would perish. Pick up your sword that I gifted to you and show me your strength. Join me on the battlefield in victory and walk back to our filiae. Your sword, my shield, together we will win. Rise from your pain and come with me. Let me raise your spirit from your agony. Together, let us finish this fight in glory. And that's what I wrote for him, and I framed it and I gave it to him, and it was a good old time. I don't really have that many pictures of him, but that was a short story, just of my boy Osvos. I didn't ask him to do this story. I assumed it would be fine because he's literally like kid. But alright everyone, like this video if you did, don't if you didn't subscribe to me, you'll get more of me. Alright everyone, have a good day, bye bye! Mwah!